Thanks for joining us. My name is Ibrahim Sani. I have with me the founder of
FullArmor.
FullArmor, and Danny Kim. Danny's from San Jose, keeping US hours, so I'm not too sure whether you're awake or sleepy right now.
I have no idea.
Let's talk a little bit more about your company,
Yeah.
And the great work that it does.
Yeah, so I started the company in college with my college roommates. I went to Cornell University, and we started that 38 years ago.
30.
So if you can imagine, when we started this in college, we thought, we'll do this for a year or two.
In Cornell.
At Cornell. And then we'll probably go to business and we'll see what happens. And we literally, I think what happened was, in the cybersecurity business, in the security business, trustworthiness was a paramount. And one of the things that the three of us decided we're going to really focus on is have a morally ethical, trustworthy company. That was the start. And then we'll be technology, innovative, and all that stuff. So when we did that, actually corporations that we work with responded. They said, you know what, we trust you intrinsically. We want to do business with you. So our first major customer was Walmart. Once we closed Walmart, then we got Bank of America, the Air Force, the CIA, FBI. After a while, almost every Fortune 500 company has been a customer of ours in one fashion or another.
What makes it interesting is that 38 years ago, what gave you the impression that cybersecurity is going to be a big deal?
They didn't even have the word cybersecurity back then.
I'm sure.
It was just
I'm pretty sure.
hacking and blocking and security.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And when we started the company, actually our first product was, I don't know if you go, this will really date me, with DOS operating system.
DOS 2.0. Yeah, of course, DOS.
So we were securing DOS, and all the files and directories in DOS were encrypting it and
sorry,
encrypting
the imagery of black screens with a little C drive going on.
Yeah, but we created a character-based menu system and all that. So that's where we started, and I think our first customer was Citigroup, and we actually went to the trading floor and secured their computers in the Citigroup environment.
This is what, 80s maybe?
80s.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Of course, throughout the decades, your company has grown from strength to strength. And you've branched out to now education, as well as dealing with young people, including some works with NASA. So why don't you talk to that effect?
So I think one of the greatest needs is people, especially professionals, taking their entrepreneurial and business skills and applying it to different industries. And education is one of those places that really need this type of rethinking education. So one of the things I did, actually, I started as a parent volunteer at a local high school in San Jose, California. And they had a space program where they were launching experiments to space.
Of course.
And I said, I'll volunteer because that's, I have an engineering background. And what I found out is when I started doing this, it was the most difficult thing I've ever done. However, the kids that were doing this, they were the top 1% of the 1%ers. Their excitement level and passion for learning was off the charts. Now, as an entrepreneur, my first thought is, how do I replicate this?
Yeah.
How do I replicate this across to more people?
Basically scale it up.
Scale it up. So I went to the president of the school and said, hey, I'm a parent, volunteer. Would you allow me to scale this up? So they're like, do whatever you need to. So literally what I thought would be a 6-month volunteer opportunity turned into 10 years. For the first,
is it for profit though?
No, it's a nonprofit. So that's my nonprofit way to give back. And what we did was we totally revamped the way experiments are done. Now we actually have an internet connection to the International Space Station. We can upload experiments.
To the ISS.
To the ISS. And we let students from elementary, upper elementary, all the way to high school experience ability to launch and upload experiments to space. It's completely changed the way we do education. And so,
but this is the part where I have to really talk highly about San Jose, because I've been to San Jose more than 10 times in my life. I can't get enough of it. My favorite companies are there, from Tesla to NASA and of course Apple and many more. Do you feel that that whole idea of the confluence of people in one particular ecosystem enables you to do the things that you need to do? Because failure is just a part of life in San Jose, but therefore embracing that means a lot of success comes along with it as well. There's a lot of people that is trying stuff for profit, non-profit, and the like. Talk to that effect of San Jose.
So there's a word that Americans use. It's audacious.
Although there's still hope, like Obama says, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, I think because there's this groupings of people that are doing audacious things, right? Challenging the status quo. So you get to kind of get sucked into, that's why that environment creates this innovative way of thinking. So I don't think I would have been able to create this type of system and try to revamp education unless it was in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Right. So you start to look at audacious projects to do, and when you can actually create audacious programs and projects, and then you feed that back into the kids, you have the ability to potentially change the education model. So what we did in Silicon Valley, we now do with schools all around the world. So we actually launched an education and cybersecurity training company in Malaysia to train not only students K-12, but also adults in the areas of cybersecurity and space education and exploration. So all of this is filtering back into how do we create a kind of a mechanism of a community where people can start thinking outside the box.
Okay, we'll go for one short break before we discuss a little bit more about your impact in Malaysia. We'll be right back after these messages. Thanks for joining me. I have with me Danny Kim, the founder of FullArmor Corporation. Let's talk a bit more about your impact here in Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur is a very, very far place or long journey from San Jose.
Yeah.
You plan to set up a company here in Malaysia to focus on cybersecurity, to bring jobs. But I have to push back a little bit in the sense that there's so many more companies that are doing the same thing that you intend to do. What makes your company set up to be a little bit different from the rest, where you think that little change can be brought better by your firm as opposed to the competition?
So because our company has been in the cybersecurity space for 38 plus years, I work with the largest companies and cybersecurity partners around the world. Yeah. And one of the things that we're seeing in the industry, and this is backed by statistics, is there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of cybersecurity jobs that are unfulfilled around the world. And the reason why, unfulfilled. So in the US alone, the last figure I heard was 650,000 cybersecurity jobs unfulfilled.
Okay.
Worldwide.
Sounds like a critical error somewhere there.
Worldwide, there's 3.5 million cybersecurity jobs unfulfilled.
This is begging to be filled, begging to be...
Exactly. Now, the question then, what begs the question is why?
Yeah.
You know, there's college classes and college degree programs that, you know...
There's also unemployment numbers across
and huge unemployment numbers. The main reason is this. The unspoken knowledge among all the cybersecurity companies is we can't hire out of college. You need minimum 5 years experience, hands-on experience to get a cybersecurity job.
Okay.
So now we've got this kind of catch-22. How do you get a job without experience? How do you get experience without a job?
Of course.
So one of the things that we wanted to do in Malaysia is not only set up a cybersecurity company that will start implementing these innovative cybersecurity solutions, but to also create an academy that will train the next generation of cybersecurity professionals with hands-on experience. And that's really the differentiator. I looked at all the cybersecurity education that's happening. Most of it is book learning, tests, certifications. Actually, if you ask all the CISOs, or all my friends are CISOs around the world, like, do you look at certifications when you hire? Yeah. They're like, no, I look at job experience. Yeah. And that's the #1 thing. And so to be able to have kind of the system where you bring in innovative technology, but also train the local entrepreneurs, technologists, even business folks. Actually, cybersecurity, one of the biggest myths is that it's only for tech people. Okay. The bulk of the jobs in cybersecurity are actually business folks, managers. Actually, the best CISOs I've seen in the world are folks who actually rose up the rank through sales and marketing. Yeah. Because it's all about people management and process management.
People who know the business, basically.
People who know the business.
Who knows the drivers of the corporations and the like.
Exactly.
But do you feel that if this is the biggest gaping hole that needs to be fulfilled, why aren't more companies trying to hire talents out of university or college where they can then be trained and later on be hired by more established firms? Yeah, so what they're doing, they are doing the hires, but they're doing it as entry-level, low-end interns and whatnot, because they know they have to then train them
with multiple years inside their own company
Yeah.
to get that experience.
Yeah.
If you had a workforce that's ready with that type of knowledge and experience, they would be able to go directly into a well-paid cybersecurity professional job. So that's the gap that we're trying to help close,
Yeah.
and we know we can do it because
Yeah.
I'm looking at training folks who actually have the same skill sets that I would have hired
Yeah.
with.
What I noticed is that I read a news report, and it did happen even to myself, that cybersecurity hacks sometimes do not escalate all the way to malicious level, more of nuisance level. The day Trump won, Waze font in Malaysia had Hebrew characters rather than Romanized characters.
Yeah.
YouTube interface had Chinese characters.
Yep.
And this went on for about 1 day after Trump won. And of course, everything normalized. Upon further investigation, some news reports came about. Yes, the servers of both Waze and YouTube was, they call it playfully hacked. I don't know whether that verb is accurate to show that's the situation. But it does bring about that gamut of level of penetration that is currently being seen, from nuisance to malicious, state level, right?
Yeah.
With Ukraine and Russia and Gaza and the like.
Yep.
Do you feel that we as users or the market consumers completely understand the gravity of the importance of putting cybersecurity really up there along the likes of, say, for instance, other solutions like generative AI, predictive AI, and the like?
Yep.
We like to talk about that, but not many
Yep.
people like to talk about this very boring back-end stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, what you brought out is one of the biggest misconceptions and misnomers in the cybersecurity industry. Actually, because I work deeply with the U.S. government,
Of course, yeah.
they're the #1 targeted hacked government in the world.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So I see all the stuff that's going underneath the radar, does never hit the news. So there's stuff that's happening that no one ever hears about.
And will never.
And it's scary.
Yeah, of
right?
course, I can only
Now,
imagine, right?
What's happening is you got these nuisance hackers and you've got the state level hackers. What we're seeing, and this is again validated by the FBI and other cyber tracking industries, is these state level hackers that used to just be, bad
actors,
that have professionally created these cyber hacking tools to be able to break into multinational corporations and whatnot, or target other countries of enemies of their country. What they're doing is they actually went into business. They become entrepreneurial. They decided, hey, let's take all our hacking tools and let's provide it as a service to the nuisance hackers.
Yeah.
So what's happening is the number of threat level, state level threat type of hacking capability people is rising exponentially.
I bet.
So now a nuisance hacker who is criminally minded but doesn't have the skill sets can take...
At an enterprise level, I suppose.
As an enterprise level, they can take botware as a service.
Yeah.
And within a week or two, they would become almost at the level of a state threat actor.
This
is why you're seeing this huge rise, and the trending is actually really concerning. Huge rise in ransomware, data theft that actually most corporations don't even report.
Yeah, of course.
Because one is embarrassing for the company.
Of course.
Number two, if they're a public company, they don't want to be flagged as, hey, we just lost all our
But more
data.
importantly, there is no governmental body that will bring them to task, right?
Yes.
Or throw the book at them, because the state government actors are tired or overwhelmed with their own everyday stuff as well.
But now laws are changing.
Yeah.
In the US, we just changed the law. The SEC is now mandating, and it's actually illegal. It's a legal requirement for corporations to report all cyber breaches and mitigate them within a certain period of time. So now every company is like, they can't really, before then, the reporting of cyber activity was on a voluntary basis.
Yeah.
Now it's a mandatory reporting, and you could actually, the board and CISOs could actually go to jail.
Strict liability across the organization.
Exactly. And other governments are following suit because they're seeing that the confidence of the consumer and the day-to-day folks are being eroded because of cybersecurity threats. And you know, even CrowdStrike, which is a big, you know, I don't consider that a cybersecurity threat. However, it's the magnitude where it shut down airlines, it shut down, you know, reservation systems.
I was impacted, by the way, of the CrowdStrike.
That could have easily, and I still believe that was a
there
hack.
There was
a hack.
But it's just that you and I are not privy to the ongoings.
Exactly. There's
so
actually a lot of things I read in the news, and I validated with my.
But it does push your paranoia levels up, right? I mean, something could be as innocent as whatever, and you're like, something else is happening here.
There's a lot of things that are happening that, again, I validate behind the scenes, and they're like, yeah, that's most likely a cyber threat. But it's being reported as an accident.
Whatever.
You know,
like an everyday thing.
Yeah, exactly. So because you don't want to erode the and not to say, you know, you got to be scared all the time. But what I'm saying, we should realize how big of an impact. And you talk about generative AI. This is the problem with generative AI right now is all the state level hackers are using generative AI to hack faster and more scalably.
Are you kidding me? So they're
no,
like, what?
They've now become more efficient.
Of something like that.
Actually, one of the more interesting hacking is social engineering hacks, where they could actually used to do it manually. They could actually recreate your profile, voice, your
persona.
ideas, persona completely. So that persona would call into help desk and fool their own company, right? Now they're using AI to automate that, and they could do it at scale. So what cybersecurity companies are coming to is now we have to use generative AI to combat that.
Yeah, of course.
To start detecting the presence of hackers being inside your system.
One thing for sure, you wouldn't be lacking jobs, I suppose, in this business.
I say this, and almost it's kind of as a joke, but it's really true. There's two jobs that will never ever run out of need. One is medicine, because everybody's going to get sick and die, and the other one is cybersecurity, because we're always going to get hacked, because we're only going to get more and more connected over time.
Fantastic, Danny. Final word, what would be some of the ideas that you think we should be really think of when it comes to cybersecurity, and perhaps a little bit more in terms of the work that you do with Quest Institute and FullArmor as well?
I really, and what's interesting is, and we do a lot of adult education, and our tools are geared towards corporations and government agencies, but my effort in the education space is to start earlier. You know, when did I start to become interested in computers and cybersecurity? It was when I was in middle school. I actually was a gamer. Actually, the days when you were throwing quarters into an arcade machine, right? But I was a gamer that got interested in programming my own games, and I started doing that, and I kind of got bored. Then I got into, and this is probably not something to say publicly, but you know, it's been a long time. I used to decided, you know what, back then in the 80s, all the games came with copy protection.
Of course.
So I decided, let me break the copy protection so I don't pay for the games. But then I got really good at it.
You're in Malaysia, Danny. It's okay.
It's okay. Everything's good.
There's a fair moment here.
So I got really good at, actually I was one of the best copy protection breakers of all my peers, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly, that opened this whole world of cybersecurity.
Of course.
And I literally changed my major, applied to Cornell for computer science, specifically because I wanted to learn how to do hacking and cybersecurity. I believe the next generation, we should be giving them the tool sets, because they understand technology better than I did back then, and better than probably what we do now as well. We need to start them earlier on, and give them the knowledge of how to stop from being hacked, but also be defenders and have the knowledge and training of being able to do cybersecurity. Then the next generation of folks will come aboard and be able to defend and also protect their environment, but also make a career out of it. Because, again, as I said, there's millions of jobs that's unfulfilled. Those jobs, cybersecurity is one of the few jobs where you can literally do it from anywhere in the world.
My worry is that, so I have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old. They're more of a consumer of technology. They don't really think about the technology that is running behind it. They don't want to think about the intelligence of TikTok or the hardware that they're touching their fingers on. I don't know whether the young are as inquisitive as they were before. What do you think about this?
I think, and I see that a lot, one of the biggest problems in education is combating mediocrity. And the fact that I think because of all the bombardment of social media and whatnot, it has deadened them to anything new that's exciting. So the reason why we succeed so well in education is when we bring space exploration, space science. You can drive an underwater robot at the bottom of the ocean. All these things. You can actually learn cybersecurity skills to hack into each other's computers.
Yeah.
The motivation and passion comes out.
Yeah.
And so when you tap into that sense of motivated, intrinsic learning passion,
Yeah.
that child becomes a lifelong learner. And that's what we try to accomplish in the education programs that we do. And we brought that here to Malaysia, and it's been a huge hit. So that's why I come here. I've been coming here, as I was telling you earlier. I've now come here every month for the last 8 months. And so
you better get a house here, I suppose.
Probably at some point, it's probably more cost effective to do that.
More cost effective. Just move over, I suppose. But then you would have to leave the beautiful San Jose. Thank you very much. If people want to learn more about your company, how do they go about it?
Yeah, so there's our local company that we started here is it's called CyberArmor. So you can go to cyberarmor.asia and you'll see all the programs that we do. We also have an education company called SpaceQuest.asia. And that you can sign up for space camps and things that we plan, and we do it here in Malaysia and abroad as well. So it's a good way to learn about cybersecurity and also do innovative education.
Thank you very much, Danny. That was Danny Kim from San Jose, US, or California. I don't know. Is California inside US now after Trump? He is the founder of FullArmor Corporation. He's also the CEO of Quest Institute. If you want to learn more, just head off to the sites that he mentioned. Also, if you want to learn more about this show, just head on to astro.com and find out more there. My name is Ibrahim Sani. Catch you in the next one.